Hey everyone! If you're new to my channel, which you probably are, welcome. My name is Silver, and around a month ago I made a video drawing wings of fire dragons, or more specifically the Dragonets of Destiny, as warrior cats. Today I'm gonna draw the second arc protagonist, and a little bonus at the end. If you haven't watched the first part, don't worry, it's not really necessary, but I do recommend watching it first, just to have a little bit of an idea about how I'm gonna be doing stuff. With that being said, go get yourself some tea and let's get into the first design. I'm gonna go in book order, so first up we have Moonwatcher. Moon is a shy dragonet who grew up mostly alone in the rainforest. When she was 4 years old, dragon years, she began attending a school called Jade Mountain Academy, where she met her best friend Kinkaju and some other friends. For her cat lore, I decided to make a group called the Night Paws, which are basically Nightwings. They're a small group of cats who are technically part of the clans, but like Star Clan, they claim to not pick anyone's side, and instead do their own thing, delivering messages between the rivaling clans. Moon's mother, Secret Keeper, gave birth to her far from the rest of the group, not wanting Moon to have to work for them like the rest of the young cats from that group. Moon had to grow up mostly alone, with brief visits from her mother from time to time, which made her shy and socially awkward. Eventually, her mother decided to bring her to Thunder Clan, where she met Kibli, and during gatherings she met her best friend Kinkaju and the rest of her group. During her time in Thunder Clan, she also realized she had visions, despite being a normal warrior apprentice, and later on realized that although the visions were real, they didn't exactly come from Star Clan. Next up, we have Winter, the breeze belt of Wings of Fire, which made it pretty obvious which clan he belonged to. He grew up with strict parents, who were keen with the leader and were even more cold towards him after his brother got kidnapped during the war. Being the nephew of the leader, he was even prouder than your typical Wing Clan cat and bragged about it often, especially to cats from other clans. He met Moon and the rest of the group in gatherings, and despite trying to stay away from them, they always managed to find him and sit beside him, talking and laughing like they were friends. Especially Kibli, which made him really insufferable in Winter's eyes. Despite hating the Night Paws, Winter began to enjoy Moon's company, eventually developing feelings towards her, which made him hate the world even more. One night after the gathering, he got lost in the forest while making his way back home, and was found by Kibli, Moon and Kinkaju, who insisted on helping him get back. He told him he wasn't going back until he found his kidnapped brother Hailstorm, because he was aware of his clan and his sister in particular, wanting to start a war over it. Once again they insisted they would help him, and just before going told their friend Turtle from River Clan where they went, and to try covering for them if anyone asks. Meanwhile, a new cat has arrived to Thunder Clan, Peril, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong. She used to be closest to Thunder Clan's last leader, Scarlet, who was a little bit evil before getting defeated by the Dragonets of Destiny. Peril would never have been allowed to go back to her clan, but since Clay and Sunny were now the leaders of Thunder Clan, she got a second chance. Being one of the most dangerous warriors in all of the clans, nobody really trusted her. But Peril has sworn loyalty to Clay and Thunder Clan, and did her absolute best to prove herself. During gatherings, she met Turtle, who was strange to say the least, but he wasn't scared of her, and even oddly enough enjoyed her company. After a threat from the still-alive Scarlet during a gathering, Turtle and Peril decided to journey together towards the rest of the group, to try and actually defeat Scarlet once and for all this time. Peril didn't know why Turtle wanted to come with her, but personally she just wanted to keep Clay safe from Scarlet, knowing he's probably her main target. Finally! Turtle was the son of River Clan's leader. Well, one of her sons. She had quite a few, which made Turtle feel like a very normal cat, who would be a normal loyal warrior like every other from the clan, and retire to the Elder's Den once he was old, after living a very normal life. But after meeting his group of friends, his easy life turned upside down. Not only had he caught feelings for a Sky Clan cat, but he also was willing to travel to who knows where just to make sure she was alright. After meeting a new friend, Peril, he felt enough courage to finally do so, and they traveled together until they reached their friends. Peril, being very dangerous and all, immediately got attacked by Winter, who apparently disappeared for a few days and just got back. Peril had to fight back, which made Winter very injured. Luckily, Turtle was a very skilled healer, and thought about becoming a medicine cat quite often. He stopped Winter's bleeding and healed him pretty quickly, but then Peril was gone. After being caught up about everything that had happened so far, Kinkaju's injuries and Winter's family drama, they flew off to find Peril. And finally we have Kibli. So I actually only read this book once and it was a while ago, so I apologize beforehand if I butcher any of the lore. So Kibli was born to a group of rogues called the Scorpions. They were a group of cats who always tormented the clans, stealing prey and causing border fights. Kibli himself was quite a troublemaker. Not because he was evil, he just wanted to impress his mother. One time he sneaked into ThunderClan territory, catching a mouse without being seen and brought it back to his mom. His mom was furious, because caring for others was everything the group went against. But before she could punish the trembling kid, a she-cat walked into their den calmly and stood in front of them. Her name was Thorn, and she was a former Scorpion member, now living in ThunderClan alongside her past followers and her new clanmates, where she follows the warrior code. Thorn saw everything Kibli did, and knew that this young loyal cat could be a great clanmate if he had the chance. She negotiated with Kibli's mom for a while, eventually agreeing to give up a small portion of ThunderClan in exchange for Kibli. Thorn, being a senior warrior in ThunderClan in an era where they didn't have an actual leader, was trusted enough by her clanmates with this offer, and she became Kibli's mentor. And now for the bonus cat, we have Kinkaju. She is a SkyClan cat, and before Glory became queen, wasn't given much notice by the other clan members. She didn't even know who her mother was, and in general the whole clan was a mess. When she was 6 months old, she started noticing some of her clanmates going missing, but everybody thought she was just imagining stuff. One time during a stroll in the forest, she too disappeared. When she woke up, she realized the Night Paws were kidnapping specifically SkyClan cats because of how unorganized they were, and were doing some sort of experiments on them. Kinkaju managed to stay optimistic during that time, and eventually it paid off when another cat was thrown to her cell. Her name was Glory, and she was not having any of that Night Paw nonsense. She almost immediately broke free with Kinkaju, and together they went back to SkyClan, where Glory took over and put them back into shape, freeing all of the SkyClan cats. Thanks to that, Kinkaju managed to have a normal apprenticeship with Glory as her mentor, and met a bunch of her friends from other clans. And that is everyone. I do want to apologize for how messy the lore was. I didn't really intend on making a whole story with actual world building for this universe. Just kinda wanted to give each character their own little lore, which is why I left a lot of stuff like Dark Soccer out. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and have a beautiful day.